Hello, Nerd Life family and friends. I hope that you guys are doing great. Happy Monday. How are you guys doing today? So last week I had shared a video where we talked about our energy. We talked about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. We talked about movement and music and nature and daily practices. We talked about just a few different things, just a casual conversation. And today I wanted to get on here a little bit earlier just to talk to you guys about how that felt for you guys, if you guys did it, if you guys incorporated any of that into your weekend and how that felt. And I wanted to break it down in these bite-sized pieces on purpose, right? Because a lot of times we see things where there are barriers to healing. And a lot of the barriers to healing for people are finances. And so the information that I am sharing, it's the tools, it's the tips, it's the tricks to help you get moving on your own, right? It's something that each of us can do wherever we are. It's something that most people have access to or can go to a library and have access to. And so I'm trying to share it in a way so that it can be beneficial, right? Because yes, I offer paid things and ways to work together, but I also want to continue to build the library of resources for you to feel like I can, kind of dive into the videos, whether you're watching them in our Facebook group or you're watching them on our YouTube channel or wherever you're consuming them. But you're still getting the value, right? It's just in a different format than working one-on-one, and it's in a different format than in the other ways that I work with people. And I feel like that's important. So with that being said, then we get on track. So our bodies are really unique. Each and every single one of us have a different cycle. And we all know that the male body and the female body go through different cycles. Like men go through a 24-hour cycle, women typically go through a 28-day cycle, and our energy reflects that, right? And how we show up for the world, how we show up for our families and our business and all of the things, and how we need to replenish our bodies, how we need to replenish our energy. It looks different for each of us, right? And especially depending on the support systems that we may or may not have around us. I know sometimes people pop into my inbox, whether they are other mentors, other coaches, other veterans, whoever they are with the label, whatever hat they're wearing, right? And they often feel like they don't have a space for themselves too. And it's important that you understand that it's important that you have a space. I'm very transparent about the spaces that I've created for myself because I don't like the idea that just because you have a title, you stop learning. I believe we are a student of life for life, right? And just because you are the leader, just because you are the one with the wisdom, it doesn't mean that you stop learning. It doesn't mean that you stop needing support. It doesn't mean that you stop needing to nourish some aspect of yourself, right? Like we have a wheel that we can look at and say, okay, how am I doing spiritually? How am I doing socially? How am I doing financially? How am I doing, right? And you just go through it and you say, how am I doing in all of these different areas? And sometimes you're doing like 90 here and you're doing 10% here. And it's like, how can I support? How can I move things around to kind of do better in other places? So I've always been very transparent about having a spiritual mentor. I've always been very transparent about going to therapy since I've been doing that since leaving the Army, which was very hard for me. Very, very hard because of the stigma and everything else. I did not go to therapy easily, and I went through a lot of different therapists, and it took me a while to find the right type of therapy that was a fit for me. So if you are like, oh, I tried therapy, it was garbage, whatever. Sometimes it's the therapist and you got to click. Sometimes it's the type of therapy. And there's a lot of other factors. So just give yourself a chance. It's a really good tool to have in your toolkit for life because you can incorporate those into other things, right? So that being said, and then I've also had business mentors. I've had Army mentors. I've had leadership mentors. I've had a whole bunch of people behind the scenes pour into me in different ways, professional development, spiritually, professionally, woman, just as a woman, right? Like all of these different aspects so that I could show up and be who I need to be for the people who rely on me, right? Whether it's in my business or it's in my household. So I want for you to also consider that. So when you're doing these things, just understand that, yes, you may be taking 5 minutes for yourself, but the ripple effect of that, what does that look like? If you are negotiating with yourself, I can't take 5 minutes for myself. I can't take 10 minutes for myself. I can't do this. But think about the ripple effect if you do. If you have a better day and you're happier and people around you notice, what will that create? What type of inspiration, what kind of healing, what kind of benefit does that create? If you're feeling supported, how does that benefit the ecosystem around you, right? Sometimes we have to reshape what it is that we are existing in and how we're existing in order to find an acceptance of it, right? Because you're already worthy of these things. We all deserve these things. Like everyone deserves rest. Everybody deserves nourishment and all of that. Even though there are people in the world who say that you have to earn it, that's not true. But anyways, so when you are looking at some ways to kind of reset your nervous system, when you're trying to give yourself permission to reconnect and realign, right? Some of these really quick tips that you can do throughout the day. I love using music, but sometimes you have to like move your body. And I'm going to use this one because for this example, sometimes we can check the mail and a piece of mail can be just like something, a piece of trash, right? And other times it can be something that sends our body into flight, fight, fawn, freeze, and we don't know what to do with it because it's not like we're back in the era where we're chasing animals so that we could survive, so that we could have food, right? So we have to understand how to complete that cycle to release the chemicals, to release the emotions, to release our nervous system from being so tight. And in that moment of, oh my God, this panic, I just had this unexpected bill, or I just got this unexpected news on this text message. Someone just told me that something really traumatic, right? So in those moments, or a moment where you just need to reset, consider, what can I do to activate my physical body, right? And with intention, some of these tips and tricks are so easy, and they are really, they're something I even tell my daughter to do, because even at her age, at 12, it's really important for her to learn these things too, because we can't always do what we need to do when we're out in public, when we're in school, when we are at work, or in public, and out in the world, right? So I'm just going to share, you can stomp your feet, you can shake, you can dance, you can hum, you can sing. And these things activate your nervous system. They move your body, they shift your energy, and they are tools that we all have access to, right? That help us shift and regulate what we can, what is within our realm of control, so that we can start regulating, de-escalating, and allowing that process of whatever put us into that reactive state of fight, flight, fawn, freeze, right? Of processing that whole bit, so that you can nourish yourself, nourish your nervous system, nourish your body, and allow yourself to get back into the flow in your alignment. And they don't have to always come when you're triggered. It can come just when you're feeling like, I need to reset, I need to ground, I need to, put myself in my own routine. Some people like to call it a ritual. That's fine, whatever you want to call it. If your energy feels stuck, if you're feeling flustered or frustrated, sometimes just like taking a moment, stepping away, stomping, listening to your song and dancing and shaking your body, twerking your butt, all of that stuff is medicine. It is medicine, it is healing, it shakes your energy, it shakes your nervous system. My crown is tingling. It allows for healing to happen because it is medicine that we all have access to. There's not a paywall stopping you from getting to, right? Singing singing or humming activates your vagus nerve, and it can help soothe your whole system too. So if that's something, do it. You don't have to sing good. It doesn't have to sound good, but you can do it anyway, right? Find your song, and feel into that emotion. Sometimes you can use music to channel an emotion if you're not feeling an emotion. If you need to set a timer to feel something, put on a song, feel it, and then let it go. If you need to feel rage, if you need to feel joy, if you need to feel sadness, whatever it is, allow yourself to do it, right? Sometimes when we have that expression and we allow our body that release of that exhaustion, right? If we can't go work out, we can't go run, we can't go to the gym, having that 2-minute song, that foot stomping moment, that breath, that exhale, that humming, that stomping, whatever, it allows us to complete the cycle, to allow us to regulate ourselves, to get us back on track so we don't lose our shit, so that we can be who we want to be, who we need to be, where we need to be, and in the present moment, right? So if you've tried this before to kind of reset, reboot, leave it in the comments. If you have a recommendation, feel free to leave it. Let me know how it feels for you. And, on the Soulpreneur Life website, soulpreneurlifellc.com, there's the meditation tab that you can click on, and it'll take you to our channel where there's some really quick, they cycle you through. They're really quick. There's a couple that are like 30 minutes that are longer healing type meditations, but there are some quick 7-minute energy resets on there to like just get you through the day. Like, I'm having a moment, I just need a really quick guided meditation to reset, to get my energy together, and then I need to go about my day. They're on there and they're free. So just go listen to them. If you like them, good, enjoy it, reset, and then go about your day, right? That's another resource that you can tap into. But I just wanted to share this with you all because everybody deserves a space. Everyone deserves to understand that they have tools within their reach, and it's really important that we use those, and that then we continue to add to our toolkit for life, right? We add people, places, things, all of those different things. Because even if people come to work with me, but they don't do the things that we're working together on, right? Like they don't, we say, okay, here's the plan. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then we get off the call and then we come to our next session and you have not done X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, we're in the same spot that we were last time, right? Because a part of the process is integration, right? So anybody can have a mentor. Anybody can have the tools for success, but it's really important to have the tools and start implementing them. And I really love working with the people I work with because normally when they find me, they're to that point where they've tried all of the free things. They've tried other paid things. They've exhausted themselves to the point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to actually integrate the work now. And so we can actually get the work done and start seeing the results. And I feel like for me, selfishly, I love that because I love seeing the transformation. I love it so much. I love it because there's like this spark that is like activated behind the eyes of each client, like as they start to see the results, as they start to like see the transformation in real time, because they've been trying and it just has not been clicking. And then now finally they're ready to integrate it. So now I can put the pieces together for them, with them, and they are actually willing to do the things that we're saying. And it's making this beautiful piece of art, right? And I love being behind the scenes, so it's cool for me because I don't always like being the face of things, and so it allows me to be in my comfort zone and be like the person in the back of the room cheering, like it's so cheesy. But anyways, stomping, shaking, dancing, humming, singing, all tools that are accessible to all of us, that most of us, I don't want to be ableist, to most of us that we can access to. It's our medicine. Each of us, it's our medicine, right? It's a form of healing. It's a tool for healing. Add it to your toolkit for life. Start using it. Let me know how it feels. Drop it in the comments. I'm sending you guys a lot of appreciation. a lot of love, and I will meet you guys in the comments. All right, bye.